Pray on just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Pray on just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer. Everything will be all right. Pray on just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer. Pray on. You better pray just a little while longer. Everything is gonna be alright. You better pray on just a little while longer. Pray on, better pray just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer. Everything is gonna be all right. You know, you gotta Mahalia that. You know. That song is from Tyler Perry. Those of y'all who watch his earlier movies, and I think that was in Family Reunion. And hearing that song as a youngster is like you laugh about it, but it's not until you get older and those songs, you know, really resonate with you. I don't know who does that song. I'm gonna do the research. It sounds like it might be a Mahalia song. I feel like Mahalia would do something like that. But the lyrics are so real because it's pray on just a little while. Hey. And that's my message for today. I personally, I'm not going through anything right now, but so many people around me are going through things, and the best advice I give to them is pray, because it really does change things. And when I have gone through things, I pray, and you can't tell me it doesn't work because I've seen it work. So I woke up this morning with a song on my mind. And because I was thinking about my coworker, and she's going through a lot right now. Like, she's going through a lot to the point that she had to take off work again. And the song just hit me like, pray on just a little while longer. Everything's going to be all right. And that's the whole song. Pray on just a little while longer. You know, and I have so many testimonies of my own where prayer, it changes things, because when you pray, it goes into the atmosphere and it goes where it needs to go, and demons tremble literally at the sound of Jesus. I said that in a previous video. I didn't get a whole bunch of views, but you know what? The people who did view it, that's who needed to view it. And I just can't stress that enough, to pray just a little while longer. Because sometimes, I can admit it, even when it comes to something as simple as a job. You know, I've been job hunting for 2 years. So I'm going through that post graduation life. And I had a few job offers, and I turned down two. Yeah, the rest of the job offers were like to be a para in like another state and stuff, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually trying to do something else other than para. And even my other coworker who's spiritual and she prays, she was like, you should ask God where does he want you to be? And that's true. I feel like whatever's meant to be will happen. Right now I'm at the school that I'm at, and I'm there by accident because the principal didn't call me, Subcentral did. And Subcentral is like a automatic system that calls us and for assignments. And normally the principal would ask me to come back or whatever, or like when I wanted to come back to Midwood, I sent an email to the AP I requested to come back. And then the end of that second year, I was asked to come back, but I declined. I didn't think I would be doing this long, but I feel like for those of y'all who are Martin fans, Gina, she's spiritual, and at the reunion she said everybody has a ministry. So regardless of what you do, whether you work with children, whether you're an actor, comedian, whatever it is that you do, even something like catering. And some of y'all might think, well, I just cook. No, that's a ministry. You're blessing someone. Somebody's going to get blessed by you cooking, you know. And they're going to remember you to be like, I remember when X, Y, and Z. And that's the purpose of living, you know. You don't just live to just pay bills. The purpose of living is to make a legacy for yourself, that when you die, people could say she was a caring person. And I was just thinking about that this morning. Like, I had to teach, you know, a few of my friends, they come over and they be like, wow, you're such a good hostess. That's just my personality. Nobody taught me that. My parents are very antisocial. My father has friends, but my mom don't like people over. She's not a people person. So like my dad, I remember when I was younger, he would have his friends come over, and my mother was like, stop having your friends come over. Like, she didn't want people to come over. And then when I got old enough and I started having friends over, she stopped that too. Before I moved out, like, my mom don't like people. She just doesn't. So as far as people skills and having people come over and all that, I had to teach myself all of that, you know. And it's nothing but God. People be like, oh, it's God. Like, how else would I have known to? And people be shocked, like, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, the way I am and my personality and how I'm loving and I'm spiritual and all, it's God. Me raising my son and for him to come out the way he did, yeah, it's a little bit of me, but it's really God. Like, to have a child that you did not plan for, and then for them to just come out awesome and talented and educated and, you know, good grades, how can you explain that in the neighborhood that we live in? How can you explain that? You know, statistically, he should be in juvie. Statistically, I should have 3.5 more kids. Statistically, I should have been dead in my grave. Statistically, from drugs or something stupid. You know, but God. That's my message for today. But God. You know, and just that song really hit me heavy. I was like, that was just, you know, when you just get a song in your spirit and then you really listen to the lyrics, yeah, Pray on just a little while longer. And it's funny because those of us growing up in church, how many of us used to make fun of the older people singing? Keep it real. Like my mother was one of those women that my mom didn't need a choir. I need a choir. Like I like my backup. I like, so growing up in church, I always had my choir to back me up. I always got picked to be the lead singer for school and church because a lot of people didn't want to volunteer. And I was telling my son that, like, I don't mind getting up on stage and being in front of people because I didn't have a choice. When you're in elementary school and you're almost as tall as the teacher, you stick out. So I've been 5'7" since about the 4th or 5th grade. I've been 5'7". That's tall. That's very tall for a child. So I always stuck out. And then my last name was Vouse. And ironically, I never got made fun of for my name. Never. But people always wondered, like, what is Vouse? What is that? It's French. And it's like, I've been told it was French. But nobody has my last name. So people always remember it because it's like, Vouse? What is that? Like, Vouse? Nobody has that name. And even though the name is annoying because nobody could really say it, it's so unique, So people meet me 1 time, 2 times, and they remember me, and that's the anointing on my life. I don't really, it's a little bit of me, but it's a lot of him too, But yeah, in church, I would always be, most of the times I was the lead singer for most of the songs. And from the time I was a little girl all the way up till 19 years of age. But my mother used to sing the old songs, the older songs, and she would drag it, and it was like, it's just, that's the good memories I have, and you didn't understand the lyrics back then, but as you get older, you understand it, and that's what gets me through life. It really does. Everybody has different things to get them through a situation. It's those old songs, Amazing grace will always be my song of praise, but it was grace that, and I shall ever lift mine eyes to, mine eyes to view the cross. Yeah. And my favorite part would always be, they would say, I'm a little sore. I got a little sore throat, but I'm going to sing anyway. And they come out singing better than Whitney Houston. Yeah, I said it. Whitney Houston could sing. But when you go to a black church, you got some girls up in there, listen, could really sing. And even in my own family, I have an artist. Her name is Latrice Crawford. And she's a gospel artist. She's been on the Stella Awards. Y'all can look her up, Latrice Crawford. And it's so many singers in my family. And it's like, that's just the anointing that God put on us to minister to people, And all of the men play an instrument, most of the men on my father's side. My father, he doesn't really play music anymore. But that was his thing. He started actually playing music at 10 years old. And that's what saved his life, And That's what's in us as black people in general. I feel like is our talent and what we're good at. That's what really, because we've been through a lot as a people and we're still going through a lot. You know, so we got this person that's in charge of the country now, and it's the only song I can come up with is "Pray On" just a little while longer. That because we're not living in trying times. We're living in weird, dangerous times. Like, I don't think people are really aware of what's going on. Like, our rights are being taken away little by little. And nobody is really paying attention because it's nothing major yet. But I can't stress that enough. It's praying time. It's not just a cliche or a song. It's praying time. It really is. Like, you know, Dorothy Nora got a song. You know, it's praying time. Oh, yes, it is, y'all. Praying time. Oh, it's praying time. It's praying time. My mother used to listen to that. You know. And it sound like old slave songs, but shit, that's what got us over. For real, like, yeah. Oh, yes, it is, y'all. For real, like that civil rights movement music, you know. Who's that guy that sang? I was born by the river in a little tent. A change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I think that was Sam Cooke. I think. A change gonna come. Oh, yeah. And a change did come. It did. But now we're living in a time where it's just weird time. There's no other way I could explain it. We're living in weird times. The things that I'm reading in the paper, and I encourage people to read the New York Times. I've been reading it since I was in elementary school. And it's just the stuff I'm reading is just... I'm not going to talk about it on this channel because I told myself I'm not going to talk about politics. That's not what I'm going to do. But it's praying time. It really is just like... It's praying time. Like, I don't know what else to do right now but to pray. Those are my thoughts.